It feels like a never-ending merry-go-round that I just want to get off of, but I can't. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Sea Radio. My name is Corbin, and we're talking about some more Red Sox news connected to two players that we have been talking about essentially this entire offseason and where the Red Sox stand with all of it. But before we do, just a heads up, we are going to be live tonight right here on this channel. It's Wednesday, so you know we're talking everything Red Sox live and in person. It is going to be a little bit earlier tonight. We're starting at 6:45 Eastern time. I can't tell you guys exactly why yet, but keep a heads up on the community tab for an announcement over there, potentially as to why we're starting early tonight. Either way, again, that's going to be tonight, 6:45 p.m. Eastern time. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. I think at this point in the offseason, people are starting to get mad at me for talking about Bregman and Arenado and all these guys far too often. And I got to be honest with you, if there were other Red Sox news or rumors to talk about, we would absolutely be talking about them, right? It's not that I'm so fixated on the Red Sox and Bregman or the Red Sox and Arenado that it's the only thing I could talk about. It's just simply the only news and rumors surrounding the Red Sox. So once we get different news and rumors, we will obviously talk about those. I apologize if it's too much here, but my job on this channel is to go over everything Red Sox related. And right now, everything Red Sox related is connected to these two guys because in the last couple of days, we've gotten a lot of either rumors or reports surrounding one of the two of them. And we're going to start with the Bregman stuff because that's really where things kicked off. On Truck Day, which was, I believe, the 3rd of February, could have been yesterday as well, Sam Kennedy met with some reporters and he was asked about Alex Bregman. His quote was, "I'm not allowed to talk about any specific free agent negotiations or anything, but given that he's unsigned, I think it speaks for itself." Do I know what this means? Absolutely not, right? This could mean 100 different things. It's Sam Kennedy. The dude never actually says what's going to happen. It feels like the dude never actually says what's truly on his mind. It feels like, so I have no idea what this means. Could it mean that, hey, he's still out there, so yeah, we're still pursuing him? Possibly, right? Could it mean he's still out there? Guys, he's not here. Get over it. Yeah, I think it could mean that as well. Does it mean that he has absolutely no idea what's going on with these negotiations? Of course it could. I don't know if Sam Kennedy knows what he means by this statement. I don't know if he's just saying stuff to say stuff so that he doesn't have to keep answering these questions. I have no idea. Sam Kennedy has been not exactly the most reliable source for Red Sox information, which is wild because he is the CEO of the company or whatever he is, the mouthpiece for ownership. I don't know what the actual title is. I think it's CEO, maybe president, one of the two. Who cares? He ends up saying stuff and then it ends up backfiring and then he ends up tracking on those stuff. I don't know. We have no idea what this means by Sam Kennedy. And of course, it just adds more confusion to where the Red Sox stand with Alex Bregman. Although we did also get yesterday some pretty clarifying news tidbits about maybe where the Red Sox is standing. It started with Rob Bradford, who tweeted out that sources suggest that interested teams, including the Red Sox, are coming in with the high AAV, fewer years approach with Bregman. Toronto may be the outliers with more years. Not exactly incredibly new information. We've known for a little bit now that the Red Sox are refusing to go towards a long-term deal with Bregman, which I think most Red Sox fans believe is the correct way for the Red Sox to go in this Alex Bregman pursuit. I don't think anyone's really complaining that they're not going to 6 or 7 years for this guy. I think most people understand that that is a smart move by the Red Sox to sit here and try to stay within the realm of reality when it comes to his contract. For a while, it's really felt like, no, that's just simply not going to get it done. Maybe another team gets desperate enough, like the Blue Jays, as Rob Bradford is reporting, to give him 8 or 9, 6 or 7, whatever it is, years that gets this deal done and just sort of puts them into a different stratosphere compared to other teams. And we knew the Red Sox weren't going to be willing to do that. What we didn't know is that maybe it doesn't totally put them out of this race, right? It's felt like, okay, the Red Sox are at 4 years. They're not willing to go above 4 years. Maybe it's 3 years with an opt-out. We have no idea. What we do know is that other teams are above them, and it doesn't feel like the Red Sox are going to get there. However, things could be starting to dwindle down a little little bit in this Alex Bregman race. The Astros just had their, I don't know, winter weekend type event where they talked about Alex Bregman in the past tense as if they lost Alex Bregman. In fact, they used the words, "We lost Alex Bregman this offseason." So maybe it doesn't really sound like those guys are too confident that Bregman's going to be coming back. We got last night a leak that the Cubs are within the same year range that the Red Sox are. Again, we don't really know what their total AAV for Bregman is right now, but we do know the Sox are in that sort of 4-year range. Apparently, so are the Cubs. A leak came out the other day that said the Cubs have a creative, I don't know what that means, 4-year deal on the table worth $30 million a year for Alex Bregman. So I think the big thing to pull out of everything we've heard about Bregman right now is that there's a potential there that the Red Sox aren't totally out of this race yet, that they could be still a horse in this race for the Alex Bregman sweepstakes, that 4 years may end up being enough to get it done. Everyone's just sort of sitting there saying right now that this is a staring contest. Bregman and Boris are staring at these teams. The teams are staring right back at Bregman and Boris, and they're trying to figure out who's going to blink first. My guess is just because it's Boris here that they're going to force a team to blink, and I still don't think it's going to be the Red Sox, but on the off chance that Boris and Bregman end up blinking first, I don't know. The Red Sox could still very much be in this thing, or maybe they aren't, because we got, again, another rumor surrounding a guy that we've also talked about 100 times on this channel before just yesterday. Because on top of what we heard about Bregman over the last few days, yesterday we also got a rumor about, of course, Nolan Arenado, because those are the two names we've been talking about endlessly now for 3 months. John Morrissey on MLB Network reported, quote, "The Red Sox and Cardinals have had recent communication about the Nolan Arenado stuff." It's interesting a bit to me because this kind of sounds like a pivot a bit. I've made my stance on Nolan Arenado pretty clear for months now. I actually think Nolan Arenado would be a solid addition to this Red Sox team in one circumstance only, and that is if you do not move Tristan Casas to get this deal done, right? Every single time we have heard about Nolan Arenado to the Red Sox, we've also heard about Tristan Casas to the Mariners or Tristan Casas to the Cardinals, right? It just makes no sense to me. The only way that this works is if you are able to move off of Masataka Yoshida, and we've talked about that 100 times. I'm not going to go super in detail to that, but I actually don't hate this Arenado thing. I think it could work out well for Boston. I think he could sort of revitalize his bat here and be a really solid veteran piece for this team in the future. I don't hate this at all. I just hate the idea of getting rid of Tristan. Now, I will say, in this conversation, we always go back to Jared Carrabis, who connected to Bregman, we know that, connected to Arenado, we know that, was kind of talking a bit on Twitter recently when asked about whether or not Casas would be involved in a deal for Arenado. He said, "I doubt it." I don't know if that's super confident, but that gives me a little bit of hope that the Red Sox are going to try to hold on to Tristan if they were to get Arenado. What's interesting to me and why I mentioned pivot is because of the timing of this news, right? The fact that we get all this stuff about Bregman, Kennedy's mysterious quote that just sort of confused everyone, the news from Rob Bradford that, hey, maybe the Red Sox aren't totally out of this, the Astros using past tense, the Cubs appearing to be sort of in the same ballpark as the Red Sox, and then all of a sudden, hey, look, the Red Sox are talking to Arenado. This could mean a couple of things. Either one, what we believe is true, and the Red Sox aren't remotely close to even remotely landing Alex Bregman, so they are actually pivoting towards Arenado. Or two, they are kind of in the same ballpark as a lot of these other teams, and they're trying to separate themselves or put some pressure on Bregman to decide on the Red Sox by saying, look, dude, we want you here, but we're not afraid to pivot and go somewhere else. Let's get this ball rolling, or we're just going to simply move on and fit Arenado in some other way. What it actually boils down to, I have absolutely no idea. What I can tell you is I am absolutely exhausted with these conversations. So, Corbin, what does this mean? Where do the Red Sox stand in all of this? It's a giant question mark. It's an absolutely giant question mark right now. I still honestly don't think the Red Sox end up with Alex Bregman. I just simply think some of these other teams are going to be more willing to go that little extra mile to get this deal done than the Red Sox are going to. I just don't see the Red Sox going the extra mile in free agency for any of these guys, right? It didn't feel like they were willing to go the extra mile for the guys they really wanted. I don't know that they really want Alex Bregman. I truly have no faith in the Red Sox being able to convince a free agent to come here on an extended deal at this point. They haven't done it in a little bit. They don't seem willing to do it in a little bit. So I'm still not confident that the Red Sox end up with Alex Bregman. I don't know that it fully takes him off the table. Again, I go back to, okay, Jared Carrabis has been kind of the heat check on all of this for this Red Sox team, but he's been pretty in the know with both of these, and I gotta say, he seems to be pretty confident the Red Sox end up with one of them. Again, on Twitter, in a reply to a question that was asked, essentially, which was, what are the odds the Red Sox getting one of these two guys? He said, I feel pretty good about getting one. And then, when asked about whether or not the Sox chances at Bregman have increased, he simply replied and said negative. So you use your deductive skills here, and all roads are kind of pointing towards the Red Sox, more than likely going to end up with Arenado if they're going to end up with one of the two of these guys. Again, I don't know where it ends up. Maybe there's a possibility of using Arenado as leverage to try and get Bregman to come down to their deal. Maybe they truly are pivoting towards Arenado and are kind of leaving Alex Bregman out there because they're afraid to spend money. I'll let you guys decide which one's more likely. I gotta be honest, it's basically been 3 months of this conversation. The will they, won't they conversation with the Red Sox and whatever right-handed bat you want to insert. It's been mainly Bregman, but there's also been some Arenado in there. There's also been some Santander in there. Hell, there was a Pete Alonso in there for a second. At this point, it's just sort of crap or get off the pot, right? I'm exhausted. I said that, right? My mind is going back and forth, left and right, all over the place with these guys. Spring training starts in a week. Pitchers and catchers are reporting, and we have for 3 months talked about the same people. And at points, it's felt like, oh man, they actually have a good chance at this. More points, it felt like, nah, the Red Sox aren't going to do anything. I just want to know. I want a conclusion. I'm done with the rumors. I'm done with the reports. As someone who makes a living talking about Red Sox report and rumors, I'm sick of talking about them. I can't imagine how you guys are feeling where you're sitting there and you're saying, I'm just so sick of hearing about it. Just tell me what the conclusion is at this point. And I totally agree with you. I just want this saga to end, whether it ends with Bregman, whether it ends with Arenado, or whether it ends with this team just being this team. At this point, I really don't care. Just give me an answer to this equation. I can't do it anymore. It's driving me crazy. Where do we end up? I don't know, right? It feels like round and round we go. Where does it stop? Nobody knows, although we kind of know where it's going to end because we have a ton of backing supporting the fact that the Red Sox are afraid to go the extra mile for any free agent, regardless of whether or not it helped their team win right now. So I don't know. I have no idea. I've said I don't know like 1,000 times this video, but it's true. I just don't, right? If I had a conclusive answer to this problem, trust me, guys, I would tell you as soon as humanly possible, but I just don't. It feels like Carrabis is comfortable saying that they're probably going to end up with one of these guys, but what does that mean, right? Things could change on a dime. Carrabis knows that. Carrabis talks about that. It's just sort of what he's feeling in the moment. Bregman still on the table makes me think there's still a chance, however small it may be. Arenado still being out there and being the Red Sox being his preferred destination gives me some indication that the Red Sox may be looking to do this. I simply don't know, and I simply want an answer to this equation. But let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think? Is there anything new in here that you're sitting there that changed your mind a little bit as to where the Red Sox end up? Are you sitting there in the same boat as me that's just like, dude, I don't care. Just tell me who's on the team and let's get excited for opening day. Or are you sitting there saying, why the hell are we still talking about this? Corbin, stop. Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. It just simply helps out a ton. It's the best way to let me know you're enjoying the content. Don't forget, if you guys want to listen instead of watch these episodes, all you got to do is head over to your favorite podcasting app and look up Red Seat Radio. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you tonight, 6:45, and, of course, in the Red Seats.